It's Wednesday, October 1st. Let's level up. We're coming into the Yom Kippur holiday. Usually after, there tends to be strength in the market, although we've been strong into this, so it doesn't necessarily follow seasonal norms. We got the ADP employment report today. That's the precursor to the jobs report, the private payroll number, and it was a big miss with a big revision to the prior number, so clearly the Fed here is behind the 8 ball. I don't know that we're going to get the jobs report as long as the government shutdown continues, and then we don't know what the data collection will be like in the next few weeks if the government shutdown persists, but we most likely won't get it on Friday. That means we're going to have to base things off this ADP report. As far as VIX goes, we did get a little bit of a run today, but it ultimately failed and the bulls were able to regain control. Probably some new quarter allocation money and new month allocation money. Looks to me like we're too late in the year really for any meaningful, substantial pullback. Maybe we get a 10% on some type of a headline situation or maybe into earnings. But so far, the market has kind of passed the baton from one group to the other, and big cap tech had been rotating going higher. Right now, SMH is bossing it up. Micron is strong, and we are holding the breakout as of now in NVIDIA. Apple also has been coming on strong lately, as has Google, although Google's pulled off a little bit of late. Netflix, we got the Elon Musk news. He's boycotting Netflix. I do think that that may have some kind of an incremental impact, but probably more of a headline tape bomb than an actual real one. So as far as VIX goes here, bulls here will need to get over 1724 to 1756. Anything below that I think is just conversation. The bulls there need to get it below and stay below. I would say not only 1623, but the 20 MA at this point at 1570. It seems like we're just kind of caught between ranges here. As far as the ES and the NQ go, new all-time highs today. Bulls will need to hold the breakout at 6756.75 and 25,027 quarter respectively. If there's a pullback, 67.43.5 to 67.36 would repair the rich close, particularly that 67.36, and the apples to apples in the Qs would be 24,883. As far as SPY goes, new all-time high, bulls need to hold over 667.34, which was the reference highs we saw from back on 9/22. Told you those were poor highs with a liquidation break. So far, moves to or below the 20 MA and then back up above have been longs. If we were to keep going and make it up to channel high, you're looking at 674.95 to 675. On the downside, I think the bulls need to hold the 10 MA at this point at 663.53. If that fails, we probably get a new test of the 20 MA at 658.90. And then the frequency of the tests would start kind of compressing, and that ultimately could lead to a larger liquidation break. Stay on guard for a look above and fail. But as of now, it's still a look above and go. Q's similar situation. They need to hold 602.87. I've told you before, I think the 600 to 610 level will be some resistance, at least the first time. If we were to beast up to the channel high, it's pretty close there. We're looking at something in the 611s. I'd be careful back below the 10 MA at this point, 598.30, because we really shouldn't get there. Bulls should be able to hold the 600s. Micron, really strong move today. Pretty much a Marubozu candle. No wicks on the lows or highs, closing on the highs. We'll have to do some analysis about how far I think this can go at this point. Get that in the weekend video. As of now, I think the bulls are good as long as VWAP from today holds at 177.26. Probably a good opportunity to trim as we get closer to the 200 level. Same thing with NVIDIA. I think we could make a move up to the 200s as long as we can hold over 187.35. Bulls have defended the 183.30 to 184.48 level. Generally, as long as that holds, it's fine. There might be a little resistance up here. We have a small channel at 189.35, maybe 190. But I do ultimately think we could make a run up to the 200s. The consolidation has been pretty defined, and if we were to do a 2 times range, you're looking at 204.87 and a 2.618 at 217.48. So there could be some room to the upside here. Apple's been a pretty studly muffin as well. Nice move up. It's been holding the gains. I still think we're going to make a run to the 260 level. Bit of a doji candle today, an inverted hammer, which is never something you want to see. But the 260.10 level, and if we were to make it to channel high tomorrow, 266.90. Bitcoin, nice recovery. That could be a little bit of a market leader. It did kind of foreshadow a little bit of market stagnation, although it didn't last very long. Bulls here, I do think we'll find some resistance close to the 120,000 level. Bulls need to hold over 117,610 to 118,549. Below there, we could be doing the pullback, but as long as that area holds, still higher prices could be in play. Gold still ripping here, incrementally higher, 359.46 is the 2.618, probably a good area to liquidate into. Pfizer has some nice certainty. They settled with the government. 27.24 to 27.85 is a good trend point. After that, upside targets are 30.43, 31.54, the anchor VWAP at 35.31, 38.2 at 36.50, and I ultimately do think we will make a run back up to the 40.41s, but that will take a bit of a longer time period. Depending on what your time frame is, those are levels to trim into. As far as Netflix goes, pretty nasty breakdown. I told you anything below 12, 31.30 does risk a move lower. If we do ultimately make it to our 2 times from the pre-earnings range, that would be 11.21.45. The 200 MA is 10.91.5, and I've been looking for that check back to the 10.64.5. We never quite got it, and we have been trading in a bit of a range. If we just traverse to the most recent range low, you're looking at 11.44.71, but until the bulls can get up over and stay up over that 12.31.30, and we have tried above it but have not been able to maintain, I do think the risk is sideways to lower. Generally speaking, the market is making new highs. VIX is not confirming. There are still some wild cards here with the government shutdown, potential trade deal rulings, and of course geopolitical risk and earnings coming up. I am a little bit worried about these jobs numbers, but I do still think the economy is growing. We keep getting these better GDP reports, so I don't know what they're talking about on TV with growth slowing, because it's not. The actual GDP numbers are increasing. Inflation is stable, GDP is increasing. As of now, we are in a growth pattern. There is not a risk of recession as far as I can see. If the jobs numbers really do start picking up and it starts cascading because of advanced automation and AI, that could be a problem. And I do think that that will be a problem in years to come. I don't necessarily know that we're fully getting it now, but I do think that that is on the way, particularly with this full self-driving from Tesla. I've been using it a little bit. It's not quite there. I've had to step in a couple of times, but I would say in the next few years, they're going to be there. I think we're a lot closer than people realize. I saw in some parts of Texas, they actually have full self-driving happening. And I do think that Tesla is actually going to be able to kind of maintain some of the MOMO, even with the tax credits expiring, because they are introducing some new product, and they have the robo-taxi. We are riding the channel high here. I do think that there'll be some resistance at the 448s to 500s, but until we get past the earnings, I don't really see what the negative catalyst is, although, however, I would like to lock some in at the all-time highs because there might be some responsive selling. Try not to get too greedy. Protection is still cheap if you want to put some on for end-of-year rally, which we seem to be starting into. I like that. Like and follow for more.